Welcome to Election Night here on the 5 on Your Side, 5 Plus Digital Studio. I'm Mark Maxwell alongside Anita Mannion, giving us political analysis and results reaction as these local election results start to come in. We're going to be checking in with you about every half an hour for 5-minute intervals just to keep it quick hits and get reaction. We talked about a half hour ago, just as polls were starting to close, about where things were headed tonight. We've since learned that turnout in the city of St. Louis is approaching 18.5%, something like that. About 1 in 5 voters who are registered showed up to cast a ballot today. How does that sit with you?
Well, I don't love it, but that is about what we'd expect. One of the nice things about voting in local elections is no one's there, so you can get right in and out. But of course, these are really important issues that affect people's day-to-day lives. So I think it's really important that they do take the time to go out and vote.
And we did have our first batch of votes in just moments ago from the St. Louis Board of Elections commissioners. So I'm attempting to pull these up in a PDF just now. But we were talking a minute ago about some of these races. In the primary, it was approval voting, where you could select, hey, I like all 3 of these candidates.
In St. Louis City.
In the city of St. Louis. But this time you had to pick either or. There were no undecided voters today.
That's right. And so then, because that approval voting is a nonpartisan system, it means in these races you have 2 Democrats facing off instead of the old system where you would have had a Democrat and a Republican.
We're going to try to see if we can pull up these results here for you. And we have ward by ward breakdowns. These should not be final. Let's see if we can. These are coming in the most weird fashion. So because this is not like a federal race or a big statewide race, there's fewer resources. So we're actually just going through and reading off of PDF documents at this point. But we can tell you that it looks like a very tight race with just about 400 votes. So still very early. These might just be the absentee results only. In the first ward, which is in the southernmost part of the city of St. Louis, Ann Schweitzer and Tony Kirchner are almost tied, separated by just 4 votes, 50% to 49% in that ward. As I scan through here and look, Michael Browning jumps out to an early lead in absentee voting over Tina Peel in the 9th ward. That was a race that we were watching closely. He got some big business money down the end, and she sort of flinched at this because she felt she had some bad blood or some deals where developers in town weren't thrilled with her votes. And
we see development come up a lot, in particularly these St. Louis City races, whether it was the Board of Aldermen president or in some of these different ward races. And, that was some of the issues underlying some of those resignation and indictments we've seen.
And that was a big topic there. We're going to go on and keep looking through. It looks like Ebony Washington, the first-time candidate in the 14th ward. This is a very bitter race, an ugly race. She, again, delivered a very strong absentee ballot turnout. She is leading 62% to 37% just among the absentees. So this is the first batch of ballots to drop tonight. We're going to be watching, again, for people that want to look at the propositions, those ballot questions. To authorize or greenlight the Charter Commission, we need 60% of that vote to come in. You might see those results start to show up on your screen. But for the marijuana tax, that's just a simple majority, 50%.
That's right. And because these elections are very low turnout, as you pointed out, whether it's someone trying to get a ballot initiative passed, an amendment, a proposition, or, folks trying to win these ward races, if you have that grassroots support that will show up, you can make a real impact.
We understand that some people in the audience tonight are watching the Blues game. Others are watching the Cardinals game. If you're interested in the world of politics, there was a little bit of news in that news lane today, and there's some weather going on that we're watching.
But what could be more exciting than us?
If you're watching 5 on Your Side, 5 Plus right now, you must be very dialed in to local politics, and so we appreciate you staying with us. Let's see. Where do things stand? Sharon Tyus and Tashara Earl, that was sort of a bellwether race in the northern part, the 12th ward.
Yeah.
Sharon Tyus had a pretty strong performance in the early absentee results with just about a little time left here. She had 65% to 35% in that first round of voting, just the absentees alone. So too early to read much into this, but Rasheen Aldridge is going to need to hope for some big turnout in the actual day of voting to win.
He is, and that was one of Washington's criticisms of him, that he's been out campaigning instead of in Jefferson City. So we'll see if that campaigning pays off. All
right, we hope to see you around 8 o'clock, and by that point of the night, we should have a lot more clarity on where these races stand as the election officials are right now going through and counting all the ballots. Anita will be back in about half an hour.
Sounds good.